Good afternoon, this is vk3sl. Welcome to an afternoon session. These are the stopgap missions. As the original intent, it was to be a corona stopgap to fill in something to ameliorate the boredom during the lockdowns, but it's sort of morphed into something else. And when I'm about, I'm quite enjoying spinning 78s, authentic material here. And indulging. We had a great session last night. We had Frank, VK3JR, and Jamie, who's a renowned collector, with us face to face, and we had a grand session listening to some really extraordinary rare records. We'll play some of that a bit later on, I think. There's a fair bit happening at the Coalface today. Busy times. We've got a party sort of winding up here for my daughter, for Olivia, and everything is winding up for that. But for the short term, I will see if we can spin a couple of 78s. So, on turntable number 1, oh no, I'll tell you what I will play first. I will play something from the 20s, because that is a time-honoured tradition. We do this regularly. We sort of square up with something that's deeply nostalgic, and something that takes my inspiration, and in this case, it is a recording, an old Columbia of the Savoy Orpheans under the title of The Masqueraders. That's what it says on the label. And it's a track called Banking on the Weather. I'm VK3SL, testing.
Banking on the weather, hope it doesn't rain. Banking on the weather to bring us together again. Banking on the moonlight, and the little stars. I know that banks may come, banks may go, but there's no bank like ours. Banking on a love nest beside the water's blue. Banking on the interest I always get from you. Banking on your kisses, in a lover's lane. Banking on the weather to bring us together again.
recording from 1932, The Masqueraders, aka the Savoy Hotel Orpheans, from the Savoy Hotel in London, Banking on the Weather. And of course that group was directed by Carol Gibbons at that point. So some early nostalgia to kick off the session, and now we'll move over Rover and see what is on turntable number 1. I think it's a recording of Artie Shaw and his band, and if I'm not mistaken, it's Hindustan. vk3sl testing. Artie Shaw and the orchestra with a track called Hindustan. And there's something haunting about Artie Shaw's playing. It sort of strikes a chord, like his exotic explorations. Well, that's from the new batch, which I'm really enjoying. It's so much material, and it'll keep us going for quite some time. So we'll just keep plodding away and finding new things, new discoveries. Most of it is swing and sway. But this one here is the Mills Brothers. It's on a Decca. I took the liberty of frisbeeing it onto the table. And with all these Mills Brothers recordings, they had a disclaimer on the label. It says, 4 boys and a guitar, and no musical instruments or mechanical devices used in this recording other than one guitar. Well, that is something quite extraordinary when you hear this.
60 seconds got together and they decided to become a minute. 60 minutes got together and they decided to become an hour. 24 hours kept ticking away, and they all voted to call it a day. But darling, in a day, there wasn't time to say how much I love you so. 7 days then got together, and they decided to become a week. As they grew and grew, then 52 weeks decided to become a year. That's why 60 seconds every minute, 60 minutes every hour and every day and every day and every week and every year. All I do is dream of you, my dear. 24 hours kept ticking away, and they all voted to call it a day. But darling, in a day, there wasn't time to say how much I love you so. That's why 60 seconds every minute, 60 minutes every hour, every day and every year. All I do is dream of you, my dear.
The Mills Brothers, 4 boys and a guitar. A track called 60 Seconds got together. This is vk3sl. We're testing here on 160 and also on UHF. That's 438.725 megahertz. And streaming. If you look up my call sign on YouTube, you'll see a dedicated channel to these missions where we are streaming live and also have a log of all the previous missions, including last night, which was a bit of a special show, really. We had the most amazing rarities at our disposal last night, so yeah, I'll commend that one. Source material alone is something to be amazed by. Alright, we'll continue now with a Peter York arrangement with Louis Levy and his Gourmet British Symphony, an ensemble which really rocks my boat. I love this group. Fantastic, big, larger-than-life string arrangements, and another exciting aspect of this is it does feature Janet Lind, our own Janet Lind, on side B. So we'll flip the disc in the middle. It's pretty worn, but we'll give it a Guernsey anyhow. This is vk3sl testing.
without love, not worth living without love. It's a song with no tune, a summer with no June, a sky without the moon above. Days are friendless without love, nights are endless without love. Your kiss I've known, now I'm alone. Life is empty without love.
I wish that I knew. Why should he hide the man of my dreams? Won't somebody guide the man of my dreams right to me and make dreams come true? There's a million lovers, but I'm alone. When will I discover the love all my own? I've told the moon and each star that gleams I must have him soon, so send out your beams and find him, the man of my dreams.
Well, I hope you could hear that through the snowstorm. And that record is wrecked. It's what you call a steeled record. It's had so many plays with the one needle that that it is in a very substandard condition. But the music prevails, and it was the music of Louis Levy and his Gourmet British Symphony, and it did feature Janet Lind, our own Janet Lind, as the vocalist on that disc. And it is a special interest to me because I used to buy records from Janet Lind. I used to visit her at the op shop in Brunswick Street, Fitzroy, when I was a kid. Little did I know that she had this meteoric career in the 1930s. And to sing in front of a band like that, I think it was a 60-piece orchestra, Louis Levy's ensemble and Peter York's arrangements are just so expansive, so luscious. All right, well, we've got another disc on the turntable. It's Milt Heath's Trio. Can't remember the title on this one. Now I'll put it on and we'll have a listen. It's got a crack in it, but we will survive. vk3sl testing. I think. Not doing things very well here. Is that the right turntable? I know why. I'm going to have to do a backflip, folks. Just bear with me. Now we're in the groove. Mr. Milton Hirth. Milt Hirth, Hammond organ exponent, one of the very first to pioneer the Hammond organ in pop music. Going back to the mid-1930s, he sort of helped put the organ on the map. I think that record was made about 1936. It's interesting, the Creole Love Call, I always associate that with Mr. Ellington, of course, and Cootie Williams. And it's quite fascinating to hear it sort of presented in a very chill, laid-back, Hammondish fashion. This is VK3SL Test Missions on 160 and UHF, and I'm sort of a bit on the tired side because we had a late night last night and there's a lot happening around here, so we're going to default to some other program material while I get things organised. But what I'll do is check in with the system here. Are we ready? Looks like we might be. So all I have to do is switch in. This is from the log of last night's missions. So you'll hear yours truly, along with Frank vk3sl and also Jamie, who's a well-known collector. We feel really privileged to have him in our circle because he's got probably one of the most important collections of transcription recordings and historical recordings in the country, and he's happily comes along and shares them on these airs. So it's a really good situation. So yeah, we'll default to last night's mission. We'll cut it in about halfway through. There was a segment where we had a good listen to some early radio stuff, some great 3KZ and TV stuff and all manner of things. And I think it's around about the spot, so we'll see how it all transpires. I think it starts off with a transcription recording of an RCA transcription recording which he got from America, featuring Isham Jones's band from the early 1930s. It's all unique material, stuff you just won't find in many places. So what we'll do is see if this works. I think I should be right. SP10, that's it. I've got to switch that in. And with any luck, we can follow on. This is vk3sl testing. First 33 1/3
Indeed.
discs.
It was sort of more experimental than anything.
Yeah.
And we have one more, Steve, that we'll play.
We've got one more. We're going a bit more upbeat again.
Yes, Isham Jones, I think, this time, isn't it?
It is, and it's with the vocal refrains by Frank Hazard. Yes, and it says on this one, use chromium orange needles only.
Wow.
But we're fresh out of chromium orange.
We haven't got any chromium orange left, I'm sorry to say. We're on, what is it, prosciutto or something. So,
Something like that.
anyhow, we'll have a listen to it. This is a Canadian pressing, but a Victor disc, of course, and Isham Jones was a very highly...
Indeed.
Here we go. Sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Chromium orange.
Chromium orange, Mr. Frank. That's what it is.
Mr. Frank, good evening.
Good evening, Frank. How are you?
I'm very, very well, to be frank.
Yeah. Yes, thanks for chiming in. Yeah, chromium orange. So that's what we all have to consume, our chromium orange, before listening to this. So popular selections and what does it say? A Million Dreams, a little street where old friends meet. That's a famous song. What would happen to me if something happened to you? Don't know that one. Anyhow, Isham Jones. Let's cut to the chase. I'm leaning over here because our queuing system's not working very well. But who cares? vk3sl testing.
Above me has seemed to say, someday you'll love me, I'm only dreaming, but let me keep on dreaming a million dreams of you.
sort of tumble down. But it means a lot to folks in my hometown. Although I'm rich or poor, I still feel sure I'm welcome as the flowers in May. It's just a little street where old friends meet and greet you in the same old way.
Isham Jones, and with our selection there, Victor.
With Frank Hazard.
Yeah, we're talking about, we've got lots of Franks in our midst at the moment.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I'm one, but I'm not a hazard.
Nor am I, fortunately.
Yes. Well, we have to give our Franks a Guernsey.
Indeed.
Yeah. The Franks of these missions.
Yes.
So, program transcriptions. So it's great to hear these because they are rare as hen's teeth and you just never see them in Australia. And you imported these.
Yeah, I've bought them over the years when I've seen them available.
Yeah, that's great. Good stuff. All right, well, we've got something we're sort of moving
We're moving into the radio sphere.
That's right. So this is sort of almost contemporary. Well, not really, but...
Well, what's the first one, Steve? It's a Macquarie 45, isn't it?
It is a Macquarie 45, and it just says review 62. So
It's a 2GB.
2GB review. Let's have a listen. You heard it on 160 metres and 2 metres. No, yes, we are on 2 metres tonight, and that's a review 62. It says that's a
2GB.
2GB 45.
So that would be the theme.
RPM acetate.
Locally recorded, I would say.
Yeah. Oh,
And
good. Tonight. Oh, that's good. You don't see 45 acetates very often.
no, you
It's a
don't.
little bitty acetate.
As long as it's not falling apart, that's when you
no,
start to worry about
that's
it.
right. No, this one's in very nice condition, and we've got a few of them here, so we're going to go through the pile. And this one is StarTime voiceover promo.
Now, this could be interesting.
It could be. I'm looking forward to hearing this.
Is
It's
this on the 2GB?
another 2GB special. We've got both sides here. Now we'll listen to track 1. And
Here we go.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. Into the groove.
Hello world, this is John Lawrence. Stairway to the Stars. That's the theme of our show, and it's also the format. Every week on Star Time, we showcase some of the very finest Australian performers, talented new faces, together with personalities whose names are already a household word in show business. We look forward to having your company this Saturday night at 7:30. Until then, you be kind to each other.
Let's build our stairway to the stars. A lovely stairway to the stars.
Okay, well, that's John Lewis.
Do we want to play the other side? Is that
Yeah.
different?
So we just when did he start? When did John Lewis start?
He started in the 50s, about 54, I think.
I remember him in 50, certainly 57. No doubt he was going well before that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He was.
Incredible career, and even then, you can hear that voice, can't you?
Yeah.
You can, the golden...
1962, so that's
Golden
going
tonsils.
back nearly 60 years.
He's still going.
Incredible, isn't it?
He's on
Good old
2SM.
oils ain't oils, huh?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
yes, that's right.
That's right.
Okay, well let's see how we go. Star Time voiceover promo side 2, and let's have a look. Whoops.
Might be the same.
Let's build our stairway to the stars.
Hello world, this is John Lawrence. We'd like to have you join us tonight at 7:30 for television's Stairway to the Stars and fine entertainment. Star Time. We've got many of Australia's finest artists together with some very exciting new personalities. Join us tonight at 7:30 for Star Time. Until then, be kind to each other.
Let's build our stairway to the stars. A lovely stairway to the stars.
This is a test transmission from
how smooth is that?
vk3sl.
There you go.
Beautiful.
I wouldn't mind hearing that program
Yeah, Star Time.
with Australian talents. That's
Stairway to the
1962.
Stars, yes.
Very good. These are extraordinary.
What's the next one,
There's
Steve?
more.
Right.
Got a whole stack of these 45s. This one is opening theme with voiceover 2GB today.
All right, I don't know anything about it.
All right.
First thing in the morning,
This
possibly.
is the place to
Breakfast
discover.
session.
Okay. Could be. Let's see.
This is ATN Channel 7 in Sydney, the live one. Time now for Sydney Today with Bruce Webster.
That's the opening
Yeah. Very good. Well,
with Bruce Webster, of course, a well-known name too.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Is it closing on the back, or is that single
no,
side?
that's a single-sided disc. So we'll
Well, now we move on to something very special, Steve. This is a 3KZ disc,
yeah.
and we're going to hear both sides.
Oh, terrific. Let's which one first? Is
Well, you want to say side A?
they're not labelled.
Right. Well,
It just says Hardy on one side, and CWG6015 on the other. 3KZ. Maybe I'll just play the side that says 3KZ first, eh?
yes. We'll
Okay.
play both sides.
Yeah.
This is very interesting, and it's kind of fairly historical in relation to 3KZ.
Okay.
This is 3KZ Melbourne, the Brighter Broadcasting Service. Listen.
It's 3KZ here in Melbourne, your favorite station in town. The music you like is the music we play, the top of the news as it happens each day. So for the best in radio here in Melbourne, station 3KZ.
Yes, that's us, we hope. Little us, 3KZ Melbourne, the brighter broadcasting service, 30 years old this year. We know that those of you who were listening to us back in 1930, and those who were born much more recently, all like to be sure what station you're listening to when you're several rooms away. So we've had some American experts prepare some little melodies for us, which we can play throughout our programs every so often. They'll be helpful to you because you do get around. And we get around too, don't we? We bring you news from everywhere.
This is the station that brings you the nation's top interviews every day. From every walk of life to you. Industry, politics, theater, and the world of sport too. And on Sunday nights, don't miss the voice of the Voyager on 3KZ. Your way ahead. Listen to 3KZ.
Today in radio, service with a friendly smile is our motto. That word service covers a wide field. Huge amounts raised for charity, frequent time announcements, and hourly, or even oftener, reports on the weather.
The weather is something we've always got, but like the music, it's cool and hot. So if you're wondering what the Weather Bureau said, be listening on the hour to 3KZ.
Now here's one you'll all enjoy about a very popular personality, indeed, who controls our morning programs from 9 o'clock onwards.
He's off to the office, the kids have gone to school. Think I'll just relax now, 'cause all I have to do is wash the dishes, sweep the floor, make the bed, go to the store, take the laundry, fix my hair, dust the shelves. I do declare I just don't know.
May I offer a suggestion that I know will lighten your chores?
Leave your dial, get set to smile with 3KZ and the Norman Swain Show.
We made mention a few moments ago about that vast army of younger listeners, a very important group of people indeed. And I warrant they'll all be whistling this happy tune about their favourite disc jockey ere long.
This is the Platter Parade. This is the Platter Parade.
This is the Platter Parade. This is the Platter Parade. Let's go! The music is swinging and swaying round, and the records he plays have got the happiest sound. Everyone's 10 feet off the ground. It's the Stan Rolls Show. Grab your partner and take the floor. The beat is something that you can't ignore. If you like the music, then you know for sure it's the Stan Rolls Show. You'll hear the tunes that made the grade on the Platter Parade. It's the Stan Rolls Show.
Yes, Stan Roast will be introduced at 5 o'clock each evening in Platter Parade by that engaging melody. Now, here's a melody which is just what the doctor ordered. Start the day right and you're right all day. That famous breakfast medico, Dr. Ron Cady, completely agrees with this thought.
You will start your day with a smile when you set your radio dial to 3KZ. You'll be off the mark and miles ahead. Each morning wake with the sun. Set your dial for listening fun. 3KZ is ready to go with the lighter, brighter breakfast show.
To conclude, we're giving you a preview of one of these new melodies of ours, and one which you'll be hearing a great deal all through the winter season.
Collingwood, South Melbourne, Hawthorn, St Kilda, Fitzroy.
Fitzroy, Richmond, Carlton, Geelong, Melbourne, Footscray, North Melbourne, Essendon.
It's football time again. The crowd is roaring for their team to win. We hope your favorites kick the sweep today. We'll bring the games right away.
When you hear the umpire's whistle blow,
then you know we're ready to go for you and for you. Your first station for football is 3KZ.
This is the Brighter Broadcasting Service Station 3KZ Melbourne, a part of Melbourne's way of living since 1930. Now, in our 30th year, we at 3KZ are confident you'll appreciate all these new melodies of ours, designed to ensure you're tuned to your favourite station anytime and all the time.
Listen to 3KZ.
And now we'll turn it over.
We will. That is gold.
Isn't that lovely?
It is literally,
Yeah.
Not literally, but it's.
That's really one out of the bag, Jamie. Yeah,
it's a little. it's great. It's a little
gold.
W and G 40. It's a W and G 45 that, of course, you couldn't buy.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
no. Yeah.
No, it's unique material, and
Isn't
it's
it?
just so Melbourne.
Yeah.
Totally.
And as you say, that the new song format.
Yes,
Yes.
that's it. That's it.
All those American jingles that were big in the 1960s.
Yeah.
But it's just such a great evocation.
Yeah. Yep.
It says everything about the era.
It does. It does.
Here we go with side 2.
Very.
This is Rod McLeod, your 3KZ news reporter, with a news flash direct from the Age teleprinter. On Monday, May the 2nd, 1960, at 2 p.m., 3KZ, the Brighter Broadcasting Service, will introduce the Big Sound.
Yes, it is big news, very big news, that the Big Sound comes to 3KZ on Monday, May the 2nd at 2 p.m. The Big Sound is the cinerama of radio, the biggest thing in radio's history. The Big Sound is not just a vague title, but it has the big sounds to back it up.
This is the Big Sound.
Yes, the Big Sound has big names, big listener potential, and we know big sales for you, the sponsor. But first things first, I said big names. During the 2 hours of its presentation between 2 and 4, Monday to Friday on 3KZ, listeners will hear the voices of film stars every few minutes. Stars coming right into the housewife's kitchen or lounge room per medium of the Big Sound. We would like you to meet some of the stars who will be with me from 2 to 4, Monday to Friday, commencing May the 2nd.
This is Jimmy Stewart and...
Debbie Reynolds.
This is Bill Holden and...
Peggy Lee.
This is George Burns and...
Judy Garland. I'm Ann Blythe.
Howdy, I'm Fess Parker, and my friend here is...
Mitzi Gaynor.
This is Edmund O'Brien and...
Julie London.
This is Liberace and...
Elizabeth Scott. This is Rhonda Fleming and...
I'm Gary Cooper. This is Jim Backus with... I'm Mr. Magoo. This here's the Thin Singer and... Nat King Cole.
This is Jeff Chandler.
This is Andy Griffith. This is Eddie Fisher.
This is Natalie Wood speaking. This is Ella Fitzgerald.
This is Mel Blanc.
What's up, Doc?
The big listening potential comes from the personalized approach of Hollywood's big stars. They draw your attention to the weather reports, the time, and in some cases, introduce their own albums. The old saying that everybody talks about the weather but nobody does anything about it was true prior to BS, Big Sound. 3KZ has done something about the weather, not about changing it, but they've done a lot about the announcing of it. Listen. Remy Martin time at 3KZ is 4 o'clock.
This is Julie London, Mr. Weatherman. What's the current temperature?
Well, the current temperature, Julie, is 65 degrees. You may as well hear the rest while you're here. The immediate forecast is fine. Mild to warm day, southwesterly winds, and slight seas on the bay.
That's what I thought.
Yes, nice, isn't it? Remy Martin brandy, you know, Julie, will refresh and stimulate you with its superlative taste. Brandy at its best. Remy Martin brandy. Julie, while you're here, how about a song?
Well, here's one of my recent records that I hope you'll enjoy hearing. Should fit your mood nicely.
Once I had a man, sweet as he could be. Once I had a man, and he was oh so right for me.
But of course, gentlemen, you're interested in what we'll be doing for you, the new clients. Al Jolson said in 1928, "Man, you ain't heard nothing yet." He was naturally anticipating the big sound coming to 3KZ on May the 2nd, 32 years later. But the saying is true today. You ain't heard nothing yet until you hear a few examples of what we plan to offer to new clients. Here is one of them, a thought for the day.
This is Jimmy Rogers with a thought for today. There are 2 books that should be in every home. The Bible, which tells of the miracle of God, and a seed catalog, which proves it.
All you have to do is speak to our representative, and he'll tell you how you can have your name linked with a different film star every day for 5 days a week. Yes, all you have to do is talk to our representative. Speaking of talking to people, how's this one from Tony Randall?
When you argue with a fool, be sure he isn't similarly occupied.
As you can see, gentlemen, there's a great variety in the thoughts expressed. Perhaps your taste may go to a 15-minute program featuring the singing and speaking voices of some of the biggest names on record and film. This program will bring to the listeners the personal introduction by stars of their own recordings. I'll be there delivering your message because I'll have the star helping me.
What?
Sorry, me helping the star. Let's take a small sample.
This is Rock Hudson.
What's the next record, Rock?
And the next record is titled Pillow Talk, from the picture of the same name, starring Doris Day and yours truly. And now I wonder who sings it.
Who else but your co-star, Doris Day?
Pillow talk, another night of hearing myself talk. Wonder how.
Throughout the day and night, 3KZ will constantly bring to the attention of listeners the fact that the big sound is heard between 2 and 4 Monday to Friday. And in a subtle way, this is more or less drawing attention also to your announcement, which will be included in that 2 hours. But our publicity department is not going to write the standard station plugs. Oh no, the big sound does it for us. Or I should say, the stars do it for us, like this.
This is Mel Blanc speaking from the station with a big sound in radio.
The big sound, all year round, big sound.
This is Nat King Cole, and you are tuned to the right spot for the big sound in radio.
Hi, this is Peggy Lee, reminding you that you're tuned to the big sound all year round.
Gentlemen, the big sound is far too big a project to condense to this short 6 minutes. Can you afford 20 minutes? We have prepared a taping for busy advertising executives, which takes just 20 minutes. And it suggests many ways in which 3KZ's big sound can be tailored for you. Would you care to telephone our representative now to hear
The Big Sound?
The big sound.
Such hubris. Of course.
Well, the abbreviation DS has different connotations these days.
Yes,
that's true.
It does indeed, Frank. Yeah. So, of course, the big sound has moved to 160 metres on a
totally. Yes,
that's right.
That's right. Happening radio.
There you go.
Yes.
So that would have been especially for
Now
the...
belongs to 3SL.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I've taken the mantle here. This is bolstering my ego. So what an unbelievable document. It says everything in one package. You have the whole, the
60s all wrapped up.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
You do. It's the station
radio.
identifier.
It's odd when you hear about a radio station being 30 years old, when you think that, you're much older than 30 years yourself. And you.
Yes, that's right.
It's a bit bizarre.
It is. That's absolutely priceless. And you'd never know. You look at this unlabelled 45.
Yes.
That's priceless.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, We3. Tell us about We3.
So this is for your mum, Steve.
Oh, I hope she's out there.
I hope she's listening.
Yeah.
And I know she has fond memories of John McMahon.
Yes.
This is a 3Z program. Dates from the late 40s, sponsored by Cadbury's, and it's with Eula Parker.
Oh, very good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, John McMahon lived next door to my mom. So,
and of course, he was around 3Z for many, 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 many years. Involved, he was studio manager, program manager, and announcer. Oh, yes. And of course, radio auditions he hosted for 36 years or something.
Yes,
Are you an artist?
A lot of singing himself.
Yes, lovely singer.
Yes,
lovely
he was.
Singer.
Yeah, he had a great voice.
He did.
Okay, well, let's have a listen to this transcription. I think we're right.
Every time. Introducing We3. Johnny McMahon,
Beulah Parker.
With Margot Sheridan at the piano. A cup of Cadbury's Born Vita, and so to bed. Yes, that's the good night story, followed night after night by thousands of people everywhere. Sleep, to be of real value, must be sound and refreshing. You should wake up next morning feeling fit, bright and alert, ready to bound out of bed with a smile. That's why a cup of Cadbury's Born Vita before bed is so valuable. It helps you to the right kind of sleep. The sleep that replaces the energy you've burnt up during the day, providing at the same time the vital reserve so necessary for your system to draw on even while you're sleeping. Born Vita, remember, is all goodness, for it's made from barley malt, eggs, full cream milk, and chocolate. 4 ingredients rich in vitamins, minerals, and phosphorus. Try it for yourself. Born Vita, with a Cadbury name for quality. Well, did you enjoy the dance the other night?
Oh, I loved it, didn't you?
Oh, of course.
Dancing's my favorite pastime.
Mine too. You know why?
Dancing is another name for love.
That's right.
Every night in dreams my arms are oh so tight about you.
Dancing makes it come true. Dancing is another name for love.
When the moon is shining up above,
what happens?
In my heart I wonder if I dare to start a romance.
Well, why not? Dancing gives me a chance. Dancing is another name for love.
Oh, I've been waiting,
hesitating.
Mr. Rhythm told me dance and I am with him. I'm as timid as a turtle dove, till the music plays and then the sways are making me feel
all I try to conceal. Dancing is another name for love.
Yes, I've been waiting,
hesitating.
Mr. Rhythm told me dance and I am with him.
I'm as timid as a turtle dove, till the music plays and then the sways are making me feel all I try to conceal. Dancing is another name for love. You know, there's no doubt about it. You were the best dressed girl at the dance.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
No, but you'd think it.
Pardon?
I said, well, I think it.
Oh, that's sweet of you to say so, Johnny. Must have been the new look, huh?
Yeah, that's what it was. It suits you.
Beds, shoulders, hips padded. Here they have taken off, and here they've added. Matron and Miss are certain of this. They've got to struggle through that new look. Low necklines, they've got them. What they snip off the top goes on the bottom. That's how they get that new silhouette. From chapeau down to shoe, that new look. Fashion decrees, invisible knees, and sanctions effects more ethereal. Dowagers claim the trend's more spiritual, but the dressmakers know it's more material. So that's how this game works. Just fresh upholstery on the same old frameworks. Bustle and wired, and yet they've acquired that stunning, gay, exotic, just to look. That new look. Fashion's decrees, invisible knees, and sanctions effects more ethereal. Dowagers claim the trend's more spiritual, but the dressmakers know it's more material. So that's how this game works. Just fresh upholstery on the same old frameworks. Bustle and white, and yet they've acquired that stunning, gay, exotic, just to look, that new look. Johnny, now I come to think of it, you didn't dance one rumba with me.
Well, honey, you know you can't rumba.
Well, I'm not that bad. Anyway, you can rumba too well, they say.
Rumba too well? Why?
Well, if you're not careful, people will be calling you a gigolo.
Ha ha! I should care.
Just a gigolo, and everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. Paid for every dance, selling each romance, every night some heart betraying. There will come a day youth will pass away. Then what will they say about me? When the end comes, I know they'll say just a gigolo as life goes on without me. Just a gigolo. Everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. Paid for every dance, selling each romance, every night some heart betraying. There will come a day youth will pass away. Then what will they say about me? When the end comes, I know they'll say just a gigolo as life goes on without me.
Johnny, if I concentrate hard enough, will you teach me to rumba?
Well, I might for a small fee.
Gigolo is right.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's just that I'll have to have the money to buy a new pair of shoes after you've finished walking all over my feet.
Well, I like that. I'll have you know I'm as light as a feather.
Maybe so, but look, your rhythm is all wrong.
Well, show me then.
All right, but we won't stop with the rumba. Margot, would you play something slow, please? And I'll show this Ginger Rogers a thing or two. You know, you're a much better dancer than I thought you were.
You really mean that?
I do.
Then you'll teach me to Roomba?
As soon as you like, but don't forget. Concentrate on rhythm.
Oh, I will. I can tell that it's necessary.
Good girl.
Without rhythm, you couldn't learn to dance without rhythm.
You never stand a chance without rhythm. There wouldn't be romance.
'Cause rhythm is the thing that makes the world go round.
Without rhythm, the trains would never go without rhythm.
I know. A crew would never roll without rhythm. The day would never go.
'Cause rhythm is the thing that makes the world go round.
Without drums to keep time, you can never keep step.
There would never be pep in a parade. Without drums to keep time, without the rat-a-tat-tat-tat.
Rat-a-tat-tat-tat, any bugle is flat when it's played.
Without rhythm, a poet couldn't rhyme without rhythm.
You couldn't tell the time without rhythm. You never hear a chime.
'Cause rhythm is the thing that makes the world go round.
Without rhythm,
Yeah,
you couldn't learn to dance without rhythm.
that's what I keep telling you. No rhythm, you haven't got a chance.
I know I haven't a chance, 'cause rhythm is the thing that makes the world go round.
Without rhythm, why, the trains would never go without rhythm.
I know. A crew would never roll without rhythm. The day would never go, 'cause rhythm is the thing that makes the world go round. Without drums to keep time, you can never keep step.
There would never be pep in a parade. Without drums to keep time, with a rat-a-tat-tat-tat.
Any bugle is flat when it's played.
Without rhythm, why, a poet couldn't rhyme without rhythm.
You couldn't tell the time without rhythm. You never hear a chime.
'Cause rhythm is the thing that makes the world go round. Yes, rhythm is the thing that makes the world go round. You know, the rhythm's all right in its place, but at night when you're feeling a bit weary and worn, sleep's the important thing. And so many people these days don't seem to get proper benefit from their sleep. Wake up in the morning still tired and listless. For such people, a cup of Cadbury's Born Vita before bed is just the thing. You see, Cadbury's Born Vita helps nature in its overnight task of building up the fresh reserves of energy your system needs, sufficient to carry you through the night in scientifically sound sleep and to provide you with the fresh reserves for the new day. Cold weather, make your Born Vita nightcap with warm milk. Hot weather, take it in the form of a refreshing Born Vita milkshake made with icy cold milk. It's equally good,
It's a test transmission
or cold.
from vk3sl.
Born Vita, with a Cadbury name for quality. And so comes time for us to say goodbye. Till next time, this is Johnny McMahon.
And Eula Parker. Mm-hmm.
With Margot Sheridan at the piano saying, goodbye for now.
What a fabulous program.
Yeah.
Margot Sheridan, of course, I didn't mention before, the resident pianist at 3KZ, and was such a great help to so many over many years. Very supportive. And you think about the P&A Parade and all those other programs that she was involved with.
Yes.
No, it's really, really well done. I mean, they're obviously, well-seasoned performers. And she went on to England, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah.
And did quite well on television over there, and had quite a good career, successful career over there.
Good on her.
And if anyone's interested, there's been some uploads of Eula Parker video film of her in London in the 1960s. It's up
there was
on the tube.
Yeah, I think there was a program called Lunchbox Varieties or something that she was part of. Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very talented, lovely voice, and very talented sisters. There was Eula, Marie, and Pat as part of the Parker sisters.
The Parker sisters, yeah. No, we've featured them a few times, and it'd be good to find out a little bit more about their sort of independent history. So it would be a subject worth fleshing out.
Well, as far as I know, I haven't seen any recordings of Pat or Marie on their own, only Eula.
Okay, because didn't the other sisters continue at 3DB afterwards in some capacity without Eula?
Well, Eula was involved with the Happy Gang. I don't know that they did.
Right. Okay.
One of them might, Maria might, one of them might. I just don't.
Mm.
I mainly recall hearing of Eula.
Yeah, sure.
She seemed to be sort of the main one.
Yeah, lovely synergy with Mr. McMahon.
Oh, they worked beautifully together, didn't they?
They did.
That Just a Gigolo, one of my favourite Bing Crosby recordings, was a great rendition.
Yes, he did it very, very
He made a big hit out of that song.
He certainly did, yes.
Mr. C.
Yes, indeed. Lovely.
So, we're ready for another gear change.
So we're now going to, we were talking about Easter and Good Friday and all that coming up. And because I won't be on in April, around Anzac Day, I thought we'd do a little something for Anzac Day and sort of, commemorating that and more time. So I pulled out a few interesting Department of Treasury recordings from the 40s. These are sort of propaganda recordings from the time, and these are all processed recordings. Now, what's the first one, Steve?
Yeah, I'll just lean over.
It's this little bond went to battle, I think it is. Barbara James with Albert Fisher and the orchestra.
Sounds fascinating.
Once upon a time, there was a nursery rhyme that gave the kids a chuckle and a smile. Now its words are changed, it's all been rearranged to serve a purpose even more worthwhile. This little bond went to battle. This little bond fought at home. This little bond bought a Spitfire plane, and this little bond built a drone. This little bond built a lifeboat that crossed the stormy foam. Till the job is through, they've a lot more work to do to bring the boys back home. This little bond went to battle. This little bond fought at home. This little bond helped to keep the Japs away from your loved ones at home. This little bond bought the Tucker and the guns for the boys from Kokoda to Wow. Every bomb's aglow on the road to Tokyo, so stop to buy bonds now.
Buy a bond, and by the bonds you buy will bring you victory. Buy a bond, and you'll be standing by the victory arch when Johnny comes marching home again. You should need no request, for after all, you know that you're investing in the best till the lads come back again, back the old attack again, and buy bonds. This is no time to say you've done enough. This is the time to really do your stuff. And even if you can't be a soldier in the ranks, you can be the bloke to help supply the guns and planes and tanks. This is the time for you to do your best. This is no time for you to take a rest. The enemy is reeling and his morale is low. So now's the time to fall in line and deal the final blow. So buy a bond. And by the bonds you buy will bring you victory. Buy a bond. And you'll be standing by the victory arch when Johnny comes marching home again. You should need no request. For after all, you know that you're investing in the best till the lads come back again, back the old attack again, and buy bonds.
Well,
propaganda.
Isn't that propaganda plus?
It certainly is on steroids.
Yes.
With a capital P.
I don't even dare echo the comments.
I know. Yes, it could get us into trouble.
It could.
Yeah.
But there you go, 1943, 44 there.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, they were desperate times.
That's right.
Incredible material. These are from quite a collection of this type of thing, don't you? You found a...
Yes, I did. A big collection of early sort of advertising material, including a lot of war propaganda material.
Yeah, well,
which included a lot of these discs, and we've got another one which is Any Bonds to Buy. But I should just say that last one was I think it was George Brown was the vocalist with, I'm not sure who the orchestra was.
yes,
Steve.
Albert Fisher.
Albert Fisher.
And
Yeah.
These are Columbia Process recordings, and this one was this one includes the ABC Orchestra with Harold Williams.
Oh, this will be
Harold
good.
Williams, yes.
This will be great. Any Bonds today.
Australian name, Any Bonds
today.
This is a test transmission.
This will be good.
vk3sl.
vk3sl testing.
Any bonds today? Bonds of freedom, that's what you're buying. Any bonds today? Scrape up the most you can. This is your fighting man asking you to buy a share of freedom today. Any stamps today? Lend your might, it all helps to fight and keep the Japs away. Brave though the fighting man, he can't make tomorrow's plan, not unless you buy a share of freedom today. The Aussie with the felt hat and a smile upon his face will now be needing all your help, 'cause he's going someplace. The Aussie with the felt hat will be getting on his way, settling Nippon's hash, but he needs your cash. Any bonds today? Any bonds today? Bonds of freedom, that's what you're buying. Any bonds today? Scrape up the most you can. This is your fighting man asking you to buy a share of freedom today. Any stamps today? Lend your might, it all helps to fight and keep the Japs away. Brave though the fighting man, he can't make tomorrow's plan, not unless you buy a share of freedom today. First came the Czechs, and then came the Poles, and then came Norwegians with 3 million souls. Then came the Dutch, the Belgians and France, and all of the Balkans with hardly a chance. It's all in a book, if only you look. It's there if you read the text. They fell everyone at the point of the gun. Australia mustn't be next. Any bonds today? All you give will be spent to live in the Aussie way. Scrape up the most you can. This is your fighting man asking you to buy a share of freedom today.
Any bonds today? Will you lend today? You must give all you've got, you must scrape up a lot, lend today. Any bonds today? Bonds of freedom, that's what you're buying. Any bonds today? Scrape up the most you can. There is your fighting man asking you to buy a share of freedom today. Any stamps today? Lend your money, it helps to fight and keep the Japs away. Brave is the fighting man, give him the help you can. Keep on lending, buy a share of freedom today. Now the Aussie with the
gone someplace. Now they all see with the felt hat will be getting on his way. Settling Nippon's hash, but he needs your cash. Any bonds today? Any bonds today? Freedom, that's what you're buying. Any bonds today? Save up the most you can. There is your fighting man asking you to buy a share of freedom today. Any stamps today? Lend your money, it helps to fight and keep the Japs away. Brave is the fighting man, give him the help you can. Keep on lending by a share of freedom today. Buy that bond.
Well, they were certainly big in those days during the war, weren't they? Buying bonds.
Absolutely.
The big, huge appeals. And
they needed the money, all right.
First victory loan and second victory loan, and
that's
it. Now, wasn't the production values of those Columbia's just amazing, and they sound so well recorded, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. And I think we heard they're the Lester sisters, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah.
In that we were talking about the Parker sisters before, and that was. The Lester sisters.
Oh, the Lester sisters.
Lester sisters, which was the Sydney answer to the.
That's
right.
They used to be on
to the Parker sisters.
Yeah, that's right.
They used to be on Laugh Till You Cry, I think.
They did too.
Yeah. And other programs.
Okay.
They certainly were.
Yeah.
Very popular. So there you go. That was Any Bonds Today, and lovely versions.
And don't those Australian laminated pressings just that they're very quiet, aren't they? I mean, there's absolutely no processing on that. It was
those beautiful sounding recordings. Laminate,
they're very good. Well, in
another
my
one.
hands, I have a W&G vinyl from 78 RPM vinyl from when?
Probably 1944, 45.
Yeah, and it's Victory V.
Yes.
Dennis Collinson.
Yes.
Collinson. And the ABC dance band with chorus.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Yeah. Well, dying to hear this one.
The Victory V
is a
song.
test transmission from vk3sl.
Dennis Collinson.
What is the song? Wrap it up clear so we can hear victory be. Tap it out loud, tell the crowd, say what it's for. Tap on the door, right on the floor, victory be. Every hunt under the sun, every land under the hand, feel the glad sound, let it resound, victory be. What does it mean? When is it seen? What is the name? Hear what they cry, into that cry, Britain shall win. Rat-a-tat-tat, what is that sound? Rap it out clear so we can hear victory be. Tap it out loud, tell all the crowd, say what it's for. Tap on the door, right on the floor, victory be. Every hand under the sun, every land under his hand, hear the glad sound, let it resound, victory be. What does it mean? When it is seen, what is the name? Here's the reply, it is our cry, Britain shall win.
rat-a-tat-tat, hear it again. People of France, now's your chance, victory be. People of Greece, robbed of your peace, fought not in vain. You played your part to lift up your heart, victory be. Win your defeat, win your retreat, but will unite, rise in our might. Hitler shall fall, this is our call, victory be. Those that we hate, it is their fate, soon to begin. Conquer we must, our cause is just, Britain shall win. Hear it again. People of France, now is your chance, victory be. People of Greece, robbed of your peace, fought not in vain. You played your part, lift up your heart, victory be. Win your defeat, win your retreat, but will unite, rise in our might. Hitler shall fall, this is our call, victory be. Those that we hate, it is their fate, soon to begin. Conquer we must, our cause is just, Britain shall win.
Dennis Collinson there and the ABC National Dance Orchestra.
Don't forget the
National Dance Orchestra and the Victory V song. Don't know who the vocalist or the chorus was.
It says Victor Moore.
I wonder if that's the composer.
Not Victor Moan.
Victor Moore. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a single-sided W&G recording.
Very good.
And it's something I've never seen these.
And wartime. So
Wartime Fair. Well, the next one's an extraordinary rarity. And I didn't know much about feature radio at all, and you might like to tell the listener.
yes, so feature radio was probably the first, well, apart from 3PB in the 1920s with Austral, but we had in about 1934, 35, Lee Murray, who headed up feature radio in Melbourne, and he had the Lee Murray players. Anyway, so feature radio was a recording outfit that recorded commercials and private recordings and also radio programs, and they very seldomly turn up these days. They then eventually became Legionnaire and then became Broadcast Exchange or BEA. So it's a very interesting period because not much turns up from that period, and what we've got here is I think it's a vinyl pressing on feature radio, and it's now what is it? R.G. Casey and the Commonwealth Loan.
He was the treasurer, wasn't he?
He was the Australian treasurer. Yes, at the time.
Yeah, and this is dated. This record. It says Commonwealth Loan, 1938.
Now, Steve, can you describe the label or what the label looks like?
A very handsome label, nicely appointed, but quite artistically presented. It's a yellow label with red writing, and quite a large label on a 12-inch record, and Feature Radio Sound Production Studios.
Does it have an address?
32 Market Street, Melbourne.
Melbourne. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think eventually that was the address for Broadcast Exchange.
Okay, so they took
32 Market Street, Melbourne. Yeah.
No, it's a striking-looking record, to say the least. And so, look, let's have a listen to what Mr. Casey has to say about Commonwealth loans in 1938.
Yes, 80 years ago.
Yeah, some rare Australian history.
I have spoken to you many times before on the subject of Commonwealth loans, but on this occasion the circumstances are rather different. The loan now being offered is partly for defence and partly for public works. We are seeking £10.25 million, of which £4 million is for defence. I need not remind you, I think, of the great defence effort that the Commonwealth Government is making. Our plan for the improvement of our defences is such that it goes beyond what can be financed immediately from revenue, and we find ourselves obliged to seek a moderate amount of loan money in order to press on with the great task of defence as rapidly as possible. Our aim is to make Australia as strong as possible and to do so as quickly as possible. Time is the essence of the problem. National security is the most important matter facing the Australian people today. We are a free and independent people, and we wish to remain so. The Commonwealth asks your patriotic assistance by contributing to this loan. Apart from defence, the balance of this loan is for public works and the like for the Commonwealth and state governments. The state governments require moderate amounts of loan money to carry out essential public works, and the Commonwealth government has to find money to continue the Farmers' Debt Adjustment Scheme. As I've said before, Australia is a great country that is still in the developmental stage, and there is still a great deal of developmental work to be done that can best be done by governments. In asking you to subscribe to this loan, I would remind you that, apart from its national importance, you will be making as good an investment as can be found in Australia today. I speak as Treasurer of the Commonwealth and as Chairman of the Australian Loan Council, which represents all the governments, Commonwealth and states. This loan is guaranteed both as to principal and interest by all the governments. It is a 3 3/4% loan issued at 99.5, which means that every £100 invested yields £3.15 and 10 per annum. The income will be paid regularly in February and August of each year. The income from investment in this loan carries valuable privileges as to taxation, which do not attach to the income from any other form of investment. It is not subject to taxation by the state governments, and the taxation by the Commonwealth can never exceed a stated rate. As usual, all the great life assurance offices are substantially supporting this loan. These great organizations, which collect part of the people's savings in the form of premiums, have expert staffs to investigate and advise them on the difficult problem of investment. And if they decide to invest their funds in a loan such as this, you can be assured that the investment is a satisfactory one. The great life offices and the banks and other big financial institutions are most valuable and important contributors to Commonwealth loans, but we need more than their contributions. We want the many thousands of small investors throughout the Commonwealth to put some part of their savings into this loan. This is a people's loan, and I ask your individual support for it.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's all you need. He said it all.
There we are.
All you got to do is
R.G.
contribute.
Casey,
Yes.
and talking about the third loan, Commonwealth loan, and from 1938.
Yeah. And Frank, you said that he later became Lord Casey.
I think he did, Steve.
Yes.
I think he became, after he retired from politics, he became Governor General, I think, if it's the same guy, and I think it is.
I think you're right.
And then he was I'm not sure, he must have gone to the House of Lords. To be Lord Casey. We can't create lords here. We haven't got the lordy power.
No.
But he was certainly very well known.
He was. Yes.
Well, it's a very historic recording.
I'll check that out on Google tomorrow.
Yes.
That'd be interesting to
That'd
find
be my
out.
homework.
Okay. And we now have an Australian record company, an ARC transcription.
To wind up this little segment and the missions this morning, we have Save for Security, which is these are themes from the Department of Treasury from, again, sort of mid-40s. Don't know who it is. It's a Ryan and O'Flynn composition. That's all I know.
Yes.
Probably the Lester sisters doing the vocal.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Put your pennies away, put your pennies away, put your pennies away. Save, save, save for security, and let your troubles go rolling along. Buy, 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 buy a bond today. Just do the right thing and you can't go wrong. In their maturity, their surety, you'll find security. Start today from each pay. Put a big slice away and save, save, save for security. And let your troubles go rolling along. And you'll find that you can't go wrong.
go rolling along. High, 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 high upon today. Just do the right thing and you can't go wrong. In their maturity, the surety, you'll find security. Start today from each pay. Put a big slice away and save, save, save for security. And let your troubles go rolling along. And you'll find that you can't go wrong.
Okay, there we go. That was an Australian securities record.
Yeah.
Now we're just handing records around here.
We're frisbeeing them across the room.
Now, is that one Rex Stewart? Or we just
look, it is. That's the sunny side. And here is Bogey Jack.
Bogey, I wonder what happened to him.
Okay, we'll have to hear this. This is a test pressing from
want
Rex
to know
Stewart.
about Jack.
Okay, well, I think this will have to be our final, folks, because it's witching hour in a few minutes and taxis are waiting and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
So we'll say our cheerios now before playing this. Maybe.
Thank you for such a wonderful evening, morning, Steve and Frank. It's always such a pleasure to be out here and chatting away, embalming, what's the word? Imbibing, yes, thank you, Frank. Imbibing and just enjoying chatting and playing. And
likewise, same for me too, and especially thank you to you, Steve, for putting up with us.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
For you, Jamie, for getting
Well,
this marvellous program.
It's a pleasure.
The accolades go to both of you, and especially to Jamie for sharing his rare collection. It's just such a privilege to hear these records. They are unique, really are.
It's a pleasure to be here face to face.
Oh, look, it's good.
Yeah,
I love it. It's the way to do it. It's nice to be able to. It's just to be in the scene.
Absolutely.
And all omnipresent. So we'll have to do this again.
Definitely, and thanks for listening, everyone, and for those
thanks for
on the repeat.
Still awake or hearing us on another day, another time.
Right. Yep.
Look forward very much to the next time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
It's been a great pleasure, and we'll finish up with Rex Stewart, recorded in Sydney on a test pressing from about 1950. This is vk3sl saying cheerio for now.
Along with vk3j.
is vk3sl. Thank you for listening in this afternoon, and that was last night's program, or part thereof, and we will be back, hopefully, tomorrow, all being well. Cheers for now.